Hello and welcome back to another episode of Willy's Silly Sarnies. Today we're going to make the fish finger banging sandwich. Without further ado, let's crack on.
Bap-shoo-wap, Willy Silly Sarnies. Bap-shoo-wap, very silly Sarnies. Bap-shoo-wap, Willy Silly Sarnies.
First things first, we're going to make the tartar sauce. So here is a mayonnaise I made earlier, and that's going to be the base of our tartar sauce. I've used some quite nice egg yolks here. So what I thought we could do, just to make things a little bit paler, would be to add just a spoonful of yogurt to the tartar sauce. We're going to add just a little bit of lemon juice and tartar sauce. That's a classic. And then we've got these individuals, nice gherkin, tangy little sauce this. I would use my nice knife, but they don't respond well to acid, and these things are all quite acidic. So we're going to get the gherkins in there. We're going to chop through some of these capers. Capers obviously go with fish like Tom Cruise goes with action movies and Scientology. We're going to chop up some dill. Sometimes I put parsley in. I'm not going to put parsley in today. Some dill on its own will do the job of herbaceousness. There we go. Some very thinly sliced shallot. My mum had a friend who used to put chopped tomatoes in her tartar sauce. I'm not sure about that. Bit of seasoning, so bit of salt, bit of black pepper, give that a mix. Very tasty. So that can just go in the fridge now until we're ready. Fish fingers. Captain Birdseye, they come in a box. It's very easy. It's not that much harder to just do them at home. You just need flour, egg, breadcrumbs, and some cod or any other white fish. I'm gonna fill up the bowls first, just to get out of the way. We've got some flour. This is self-raising flour, but shouldn't matter too much. We'll go in with one egg. I think for the past 20 years, every time I've cracked an egg, there's been shell, but that time there wasn't, so that's good. Give that a whisk. You can use whatever breadcrumbs you want. We've got some Japanese panko breadcrumbs here. I just find that they look a bit nicer. They get nice and crispy because they're very, very fine already, so, and light. There we go. Things that can jazz up our fish fingers a bit. I think it'd be nice to have a bit more flavour going on. A little bit of hot chili powder to the breadcrumbs and to the flour. A little bit of ground cumin to the breadcrumbs as well and to the flour. Oregano in the breadcrumbs will make things just a bit herbier, just a bit nicer. Obviously, a bit of salt and pepper. Sometimes I like to put soy sauce in the egg, but I'm not convinced it actually does much, so we won't bother today. I need one of those tiny whiskers, like binging with Babish, but a fork will suffice today. Fish, we've got a lovely bit of cod here. We did specifically ask for it with no bones, but the man, unfortunately, took one look at my dear friend Alex, who purchased this, and thought, I'm gonna mug this guy off. So what we wanna do is we wanna cut it into finger shapes, obviously. I mean, there we go, like that. That's fine. Real fish doesn't come out at right angles, you know? That's weird. So we can get some that are sort of thick boys if you want, some that are not quite as thick. So a couple of bits of this we're just gonna coat in the flour. Now some people say wet hand, dry hand, and I try and adhere to that myself, but I've forgotten just now, so I've got two gross hands. Into the egg. Make sure that's all covered in there. Give it a shake. Yeah, get some of that on top. There we go. Breaded fish. The other day, I had a fish finger sandwich for dinner and I accidentally bought the ones that come battered rather than breadcrumbed, and they were very nice, but they did lack a certain je ne sais breadcrumb. This one's a bit of a f***ing runt of the litter there, but my dog was a runt of the litter and he's perfectly nice. Although he does harbour some quite suspect views. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fish fingers. 6 fish suppers. They're not going to take long. We'll just get them in. So we'll fry these until golden brown with a texture like sun. Captain Birdseye could never. So just keep an eye on how brown they're getting, because you know, you'll know, there's no specific time, you'll know when they're done. There'll be that shade of brown that we like in a fish finger. Look at that. I think also throwing the oregano in is a hilarious trick because they look a little bit like mozzarella dippers, but imagine someone, let's say a veggie, going in and tucking into one of those just unsuspectingly. Fish ruins their day. Hilarious.
Questions for Willy. Why do adults always say that they slept like a baby when, as we all know, babies aren't real?
I think it's because it's quite difficult for an adult to look like they're enjoying their sleep when they're asleep quite as much as a baby does. You know when you see like a sleeping baby and they
Willy's made a classic error in his answering of this question. The clue was in the wording. Babies aren't real. Think about it. Have you ever seen one in real life?
So, you know, that's my theory on how that works.
How would you solve the Israeli-Palestine conflict?
This one's bloody ruddy boiling. We're gonna place them down, just 3 of them. Place over some shite American cheese. What? I hear you say. Well, stop saying it, because I think this is gonna be really nice. So we're doing it. And then we've had a grill preheating, so we're just gonna whack that under until it's a bit melty. We're not here to take the piss, all right? We've got this nice bread. It's soft, it's white, it's exactly what we need for a fish finger sandwich, especially a fish finger banging sandwich, which is what this is, for it is banging. We're buttering both sides, that's important. First, we're going to put a blob of our tartar sauce down on here. Then we're going to put the first 3 of our fishy thingies. Then we're going to put another blob of tartar sauce. And then we're going to get our crispy boys with our shite American cheese. Beautiful. Get that one to there. We're playing fish finger Jenga here. We're going to do a dollop of this on top. Look, you've got to have ketchup with your fish fingers. I don't make the rules, okay? Gareth Fish Fingerman makes it. Captain Birdseye doesn't even make the rules. It's Gary Fish Fingerman. Okay, so we're just going to put some ketchup just on that slice. There. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Your mum's a slag. There we go. Look at that. I'll be shagged if that's not the best fish finger sandwich anyone's ever made in their entire life. It's an absolute mess in the best way. Without further ado, I think it's time to tuck in. Oh my God. Wow. Carlsberg don't do fish finger sandwiches. And if they did, this one wouldn't be one of them because Carlsberg is a horrible beer. This is delicious, nutritious, scrumdiddlyumptious, and very, very much worth giving a go. Think of the sense of pride and satisfaction you'll feel if you haven't thrown money into the back pocket of Captain Birdseye, who, as we all know, is a well-known. Make your own fish fingers, put cheese on them, and use shite white bread. See you next time.